Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm back again to answer a viewer's question. This one comes all the way from New Zealand. And they were watching one of my earlier videos made about a year or so ago where I compared the Penn Fierce, the Penn Pursuit, and the Penn Battle, the number 2 versions of each. And they said, you know, Penn's come out with the 3 series for the Pursuit and Fierce. Could you give us an update on that? Tell us what's the same and what may be different. So let's look at it. This is the Penn Pursuit 3. This is the Penn Fierce 3. Here's the Fierce 2. And I don't have a Battle 3 because it hasn't been released as of this recording. And I don't have a Battle 2 either, but I'll try and give you the best information that I can give you at the time. So let's just recap first and foremost what the differences were between the 2 series, and I'll just use this one as an example. This is the middle of the line, the Fierce. This is what was introduced in 2015. Now the Pursuit 2 was introduced in 2013. The Fierce 2 came along in 2015, and I believe that's the last iteration of the Battle as well. So the Fierce 2s had a lot of differences. It started with the Pursuit, which would be the entry level or the good, better, best strategy. It was the good. It came with a graphite case. It came with a 4.6:1 ratio on a 6000 series, which is what this is. And it came with felt washers up top. The only difference between the, well, there was a couple of differences, but the differences between the Pursuit 2 and the Fierce 2, this is the Fierce 2, but it's a larger size. The Fierce 2 picked up a metal case versus a graphite case. It went to the 5.6 versus the 4.6 gear ratio, and it matched the Battle in terms of the gearing. So you had the same upper structure on the Pursuit and the Fierce, same spool capacities, moved it to a higher ratio gear and inserted a metal case. And then when you moved from the Fierce to the Battle picked up an additional ball bearing in the spool. The ball bearings it used were shielded, and the gearing remained the same as the Fierce. So you stepped up. You went from a lower gearing 4.6 to a 5.6 to a 5.6. You went from felt washers in the spools on the Pursuit and the Fierce to the HT100 washers on the Battle. And you went from a graphite case to a metal case to a metal case, if you're following all of that. So each one of them was differentiated by about a $30 price point, with the Pursuit around $60 for the 6000 size, the Fierce 2 around $90, and the Battle at about $120. So let's take a look at what happened for these 3 series. Thank goodness I don't have to go crazy in terms of trying to figure out what went different. I have simple answers for you in what is different between the Pursuit, the Fierce, the Battle, and actually the Battle's cousin, the Passion. Well, first of all, the only thing that changed for the most part in one of these is the coloration. It's a fashion industry. We moved up, we took the red and highlighted it more on the spool, but lots else has changed now. So at the 6000 size, the gearing is identical between the Pursuit, the Fierce, both of those Model 3 versions, and the Battle 2. Identical gearing. You can take the gear out of the Battle and put it in the Pursuit and it's going to work. They're the same part numbers. The handles are all the same. The bodies. So the Pursuit continues to be a graphite body. The Fierce, Passion, and Battle are all metal bodies. And what's the difference? Penn will tell you that the graphite body does contain some flex in it, and if you're battling heavy fish, that flex could cause problems with the alignment of the gearing. So that's one of the things you need to deal with. But other than the graphite body now, here's your 3. HT100 drags replaced the felt washers. HT100 drags replaced the felt washers in the Fierce, and the Battle always had the HT100 washers. So, main gear is the same. Spools look different in color, but the topping is the same. They all hold, all three of them, Pursuit, Fierce, Battle, all have a capacity of 490 yards of 30-pound braid. The Fierce, Battle, and Pursuit are almost identical in weight at about 21.45 ounces and the like. The only difference between these two is the case. The only difference between this and the Battle is the bearing itself. There's an additional bearing in the spool for the Battle, and that's a Battle II versus a Fierce III. And the bearings in here on both of the Pursuit and the Fierce are shielded bearings. The bearings in the Battle are sealed bearings. So if you're knee deep in surf and constantly getting your reel soaked, the sealed bearings of the Battle offer an advantage over the shielded bearings of the Pursuit and the Fierce. If that's not the way you fish, then you got to look at these things and say, is the price that I'm paying that much different? So the the Pursuit 3, it's got a manufacturer's suggested price of $64, round number 65. The Fierce, which is the metal case versus the graphite case and everything else identical, save coloring and the like, it's got a manufactured retail price of $30 more. So is the metal case worth the $30 more? And the Battle II, which would be the better best strategy, or the Passion, has a recommended price of $119. So $25 more. $25 more essentially buys you an additional bearing in the spool and sealed bearings versus shielded bearings. So you need to make a determination as to whether you can live with the graphite case, or if you need shielded bearings, and that's about it. Graphite versus metal, $30 more. Shielded versus sealed bearings, $25 more on the sealed bearings for the Battle II. So that's it. I mean, they made it real easy. Parts are interchangeable between the three reels, essentially. Spool capacities are identical. One more ball bearing in the Battle II. Sealed bearings in the Battle II versus shielded bearings in the others. All great reels, nice smooth operators, and good, better, best strategies. So if you were looking at the two versions, yeah, there's a big difference. Felt washers, lower gear ratios, 4.6 versus 5.6 in the Pursuit. Graphite case versus metal. You might have a good argument as to which one of these you want, because there was enough features to differentiate them. Here it's been reduced down to just a very few and simple feature differences, other than coloration and naming. So I hope that helps. Guys down in New Zealand, I hope you're doing well with this pandemic. I hope I was able to explain what the differences are in the current line. I hope everybody continues to watch. I hope that everybody continues to stay well and stay healthy and heed the words of the folks as they coach us through this pandemic. If you aren't subscribed, I ask you to push that subscribe button. If you have questions regarding a particular series of reels, or if you have one apart trying to put it back, or if you've got one that you're trying to take apart and you want to know more about how to get through a particular issue, well then shoot me a note in the comments, and I'll be happy to try to help where I can. You can ask questions completely off topic, and as long as they have to do with the fishing reels repair or potential purchase, I'll be happy to add my 2 cents in terms of what I know about them. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Thank you for watching.